won't say use करता है, but जैसे उनके सामने पेश आते हैं वैसे ही आर्टिस्ट भी आजकल मीडिया को उतना ही यूज करते हैं. So I think it's a very interactive relationship. Both need each other and both should respect each other is the most important thing.
रवि इधर रुकाना है. रवि पार्टी मांगे उधर से थाम नो प्रॉब्लम.
उनको थोड़ा आगे बुलाइए.
हाँ आने दो. यस सर. मैम कम अहेड. एक्सक्यूज मी मैम, लिटिल मोर अहेड. या मोर अहेड. Look here.
One of the key thoughts, ma'am, for the cleanup drive was not that every week we were cleaning up the beaches, but one of the main pillars was awareness drive to make people and the youth aware. This was a plastic waste recycling machine that we installed. So these are a few pictures of the cleanup drive. We also had Varun that day on board in one day. This is our entire team. We also had arranged a shore walk, a competition with photographers. So they actually did shore walks of the beach of Juhu, and these are the pictures that they themselves clicked, and we actually felicitated them.
You participated yourself, lots of years, so lots of times, amazing.
Hi, how are you?
So far.
So you are role model for our cadets.
Just if you permit without one thing.
Thank you.
My students also. This is the entire gang.
Where's Shailesh?
Shailesh are there.
They are the ones tea or coffee? Yeah, would you like to have some
क्या my dear? This is my
Most wondrous Diva, how are you, my darling? Man, good to see you. We talked about
This is Jitendra Ji.
That's a good one. Thanks for participating. I will explain why as an association, we are so we are only legislation really basically our home is a beach. It's a company who decides to expand to it's even one of those islands and beaches. It's a little thing that they can close and they can altogether. Of course, it's it's all the private sector, public sector, the general forces will be really protection we can make it. And that's why we initiated this this year. Only amplifier was all you do. It's just it's not trying to it's just to try to use.
Will reach you sometime or the other, that the air above is not something you can hold on to in personal space, or neither are the waters of the seas that we can hold on to. And so, for your own good, we always wanted it to be a win-win situation, so for your own good, do something for the beach, to keep it clean. And it's not difficult, it's just a matter of reprogramming the mind. That I'm not going to eat my ice cream and throw the wrapper here because the BMC person is going to come and pick it up. That I'm going to put it into bins. There were problems, like we got enough bins, we arranged for those. And we took it even beyond by saying that it's not the sea waters alone, but like part of the whole exercise that we did. Without you all, we couldn't have done it. We did interesting programs. We thought of different ways of drumming interest, whether it was just with the drummers, that we got people to come together, whether it was the games we played, whether it cold drink people could not sell, they were waiting and they were in a captive audience, so we took out things and had a quiz for them, whether we took our laptops and we held little group discussions, or we had games, or we had a special snakes and ladder produced that concentrated on these things. Or we took advantage of days like 15th September is World Cleanup Day. We took advantage of that, and that even caught the attention of the Honorable Prime Minister.
I feel a little bit humbled, in fact quite a bit, because this is your issue, this is your beach.
Once it's our issue.
Yeah. But asking me to speak about my thing when I'm here to support you. And that's what the Wild Foundation does, and our partner with Sanctuary Nature Foundation. Every 4 or 5 years around the world, our flagship project is called the World Wilderness Congress. And the 11th edition of this will be in Jaipur in March next year. 2,000 people, 60, 80 nations, co-hosted by the state government of Rajasthan, and we met with your national minister yesterday.
And they were just telling me that they made it to the Guinness Book of Records for the amount of mangrove regions around Mumbai that have been cleaned out. So, fantastic work. Some people work silently, and others, get a lot of focus on their work. But I think everyone's doing something or the other. So I'm with Earth Day.
It's afternoon now. Good afternoon, friends. It's a pleasure to be here and to be a part of a very important conversation. A conversation that I hope will lead to much more mobilization on the ground and a lot more action, because our children know now more than ever before how necessary it is for each one of us to act on climate and bring change. Thank you for this initiative to save our beaches. I think every action is going to propel more action, and every one of us that works together to build this partnership is going to fuel and obviously contribute to the change that we so desperately need. I'm very happy to share with you here that after last year's World Environment Day that was hosted by India, and of course you were one of the the Earth Network was a part of many of the initiatives taken to drive bleach cleanups across the country and mountain cleanups. The Prime Minister of India made a very important announcement, and the only way that this announcement can become a possibility and a success is if each one of us contributes towards making it one. He declared India to become single-use plastics free by the year 2022. That's not very far off. It's an important commitment, and it's one that requires our action and our initiative to make it a potential truth. I'm going to quickly illustrate a few examples here that I have used when we do workshops with children. Unfortunately, none of my introductions, and they were very kind introductions, each one of them, thank you for being so generous. Nobody happened to mention that I'm a director, a member of the board of the Sanctuary Nature Foundation, and my personal hero is Bittu Sehgal. Much of what I have learnt and I continue to learn is from his dedication, his perseverance, and his lifetime of commitment to the cause of the environment. He said something to me one day that I will never forget, and I'm sharing it here because I know that each one of us espouses this understanding through our action. But we're talking a lot about nationalism in our country right now and the need for identity. A lot is being said about how Indians have lost their identity, and we're building identity through nationalism and the idea of patriotism. Bittu once said to me that environmentalism is patriotism in action. It is perhaps one of the most important things I've ever learned in my life. We've heard time and time again that this beautiful blue dot in our galaxy is our only home. But for some remarkable reason, we seem to think that we will find another place to move to. And I say this because we are so accepting of the rampant degradation and destruction of this home. To put into context that I use for children very often, and that's what I actually began this point with, is perspective. If each of us can understand quite simply that our address, our identity, must begin with our understanding that we are first citizens of this planet. Before we are citizens of our country or our community or our culture, we are first citizens of this planet. And then maybe we will learn to own it and love it and care for it a little better. Because we care for our homes, we love our homes, and we work towards preserving and securing our homes. But we don't seem to be doing enough to preserve and secure our only home. I just want to leave you with one thought. Everything that we use and throw, let us start thinking of where it's coming from and where it's going to go. Every item of our consumption, every wasteful item of our consumption is what is contributing to significant loss. Loss of health, loss of environment, and loss of economic progress. Because quite frankly, as Vance pointed out, and I'm learning from you as well, Vance, these ecological infrastructures provide livelihood, provide health, and provide progress. And without this, we cannot hope to achieve any of the sustainable development goals that we intend to. And 2030 is not very far off. So if we really want to progress as a nation, as a people, as a community, as individuals, we need to do a lot more to secure our health. And that security starts from the health of the environment that we live in and we occupy. Just one more statistic, because numbers seem to matter so much. The geographical landmass of this country is 2.47%. It's a very, very small piece of land on a very, not a very big planet, but clearly a very small piece of land that is home to the world's second largest population. Soon to become the largest population. Which means that the needs of these people that live on this geographical landmass are all going to be met by our natural resources. So it is in our interest to ensure we do everything we can to protect our forests, our wildlife, our air, our water, our soil.
Thank you, ma'am. As the UN Environment Thank you. Today we have a very unique and beautiful art installation. The installation is special because it's created with recycled and reused materials. It's made out of recycled fabric, plastic, and newspaper. Please join us.
सर थोड़ा थोड़ा नजदीक आ जाओ Stand up, please. Sir. Diya ji.
Look here, all of you.
ओ गणेश दादा.
So I call upon stage our eminent panelists for today. Mr. Bittu Sehgal, founder editor of Bollywood 69 and serves as the secretary of the Juhu-based NGO Juhu Soul of the City. Indra Rai Singhani, deputy director, coordination, SCP-MIB ADB project, Maharashtra Maritime Board. Ms. Karuna Singh, regional director, Asia Earth Day Network, an environmental NGO that engages with over 50,000 partners in some 195 countries. I now request Ms. Karuna Singh to initiate the panel discussion. I can see Dinker sitting somewhere in the back. Dinker there? Yeah? Let's get Dinker in.
Tell us how to take it forward, because that is what is going to be mark the second phase of Savethebeach. So Gopalji, you do tremendous things. I have learned so much from you.
We are from the movement called River March, Sanjay Gandhi National Park, to make it plastic free, which I learned from Parvez sir and Bittu sir, ki what is the problem inside the park. But as the things moves and the